Oh, yeah, changes are good. Yeah. Changes are good. Changing over to a new month here, February 1st. Right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Glad you're here. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Irampour, and happy Lunar New Year to so many people who are celebrating wearing red for that good luck.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully we'll start things off right.
The red also reminds me that Valentine's is 2 weeks away.
Right.
So let's start thinking. Get the wheels turning for that significant other. Take a look outside here. A little bit warmer as you step outside, and then some possibility of rain.
Yeah, a little bit of a drizzle out there. Warmer temperatures thanks to the clouds that we saw overnight, continuing to build really as we talk San Diego County specifically. A little bit of a drizzle over the mountaintops for the most part. Inland Valley, same situation. By the afternoon, we're expecting overcast conditions. So you can look at those low 60s. The sun won't really warm us up all that much for the coastline or inland, but it may peak out at times for the mountains and deserts, and maybe even a few drizzle spots over the deserts as well. Let's talk about traffic and see what's going on out there. We still have a couple crashes to note. They were able to clear the tree that had fallen on the 5. Now just 2 crashes to note. One is on the 5 at the La Jolla Village Drive exit, number 2 lane on the 5 southbound, and then farther south, Claremont Drive. We've got the 5 southbound exit 22 there, right-hand shoulder blocked with a crash there as well. So some slower speeds around the La Jolla area on the 5, but beyond that, you are good to go as you head out for the morning commute. Back to you.
Evan, thank you so much. Now, this morning, the mask mandate's back in the spotlight. And now Governor Gavin Newsom facing new criticism over multiple pictures of him without a mask on during the NFC Championship game.
CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live with reaction to all this, including the governor's explanation. Good morning.
Good morning to you both. I mean, some people are very hypocritical of Governor Gavin Newsom as he continues to enforce this mask mandate in California while seen at the stadium without a mask on. Now, a photo of him and Magic Johnson without masks is gaining a lot of attention, and Governor Newsom did have to comment.
Magic was kind enough, generous enough to ask me for a photograph, and in my left hand's the mask, and I took a photo. The rest of the time I wore it, as we all should.
Now, photos and videos surfacing, however, paint a very different picture. There is a video of maskless Newsom walking up to Magic Johnson first. There's another photo of him hanging out by a seat without a mask on. I do want to note that there are multiple instances where there are photos of him wearing a mask, but many are focusing on when he's not. Others pictured without a mask was Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, San Francisco Mayor London Breed, as well as other high-profile individuals. Now, the state of California currently requires mask wearing for everyone, regardless of their vaccination status, in all indoor spaces. Kids in school are required to wear masks. Fans attending the Super Bowl in 2 weeks in the exact same stadium will also be required to wear masks and show proof of vaccination. San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond released a statement saying Newsom is disregarding the rules they put in place for us. This continued undermining of public trust is dangerous. Now, we did reach out to an infectious disease expert, Dr. Monica Gandhi with UC San Francisco. She says vaccines have actually made it a lot safer for people to go maskless, and the state should move away from mandates as the coronavirus becomes an endemic virus.
At some point, the state is going to have to drop mandates because, as we just saw, no one was really following those mandates, and that's because they probably feel really safe.
Now, the California Department of Health has stated that they will end the indoor mask mandate starting February 15th, and Dr. Gandhi supports this as she says the medical data is there to back it. Live in San Diego, I'm Dana Marie McNichol. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Dana Marie, and we are seeing a lot of reaction to this on social media. Colin says rules don't apply to ruling elites, just us peasants. Karen says, do as I say, not as I do. Danielle writes, not condoning this behavior, but seriously, how many people who are making an issue of this wearing masks themselves? Go to any store and count how many people are not wearing masks. In some places, staff do not even wear them. And Ruben says, looks like he is purposely posing for a photo. I'd take my mask off for a quick photo with Magic, too. If you want to chime in, head to our CBS 8 social media pages. Well, today, Pfizer is expected to apply for emergency authorization for COVID-19 vaccines for children 6 months to 5 years old. If authorized, the shots could be available as soon as late February. Early data from the drug maker has shown 2 doses, given at 1/10 of the strength of an adult shot, are safe and produce an immune response.
It is time now for the Morning Rush. Homicide detectives investigating after a 14-year-old boy was killed in a drive-by shooting. This happened about 4 p.m. yesterday in the Mount Hope area, right on J Street near 36th Street. We still don't know the name of the teen who was killed. Police also have not released a description of the shooter, but witnesses say they saw people leaving the scene in a gray SUV. Call police if you have any information on what happened there. And now authorities say no explosives have been found after a bomb threat was made against a San Diego-bound flight. The Alaska Airlines flight was coming from San Francisco and landed just after 5 p.m. yesterday. Everyone on board was safely escorted out, and authorities swept the plane and they deemed it safe. This morning, cleanup efforts will begin at a large homeless encampment in the Midway district. You see this right here. Almost 200 people have been living at the Tent City right on Sports Arena Boulevard. The move follows weeks of outreach efforts to connect unhoused residents to a shelter and to social services. Eric.
You know, there's nothing worse than showing up to a coffee shop and it's closed, right? I mean, has this happened to you lately? A lot of Starbucks, other coffee shops closing their doors or reducing store hours. I want to get out to CBS 8's Chris Groh live with everything you need to know this morning as you're going to be heading out for that Cup of Joe. Here's some things to know about.
Yeah, definitely news you can use. A little bit of a phrase that we use inside the newsroom, always trying to find stories that help our viewers, and this is one of them. In fact, just about a half hour ago, we were saying how this Starbucks was open. We saw employees inside, but that was our mistake. They actually just changed it to drive-through only. A sign just got posted, and they've been turning away people trying to get inside the store, telling them to go ahead and use the drive-through, and that is the story that we are hearing at a number of locations at Starbucks across San Diego County. In fact, the one on Magnolia in Santee, there's a location in Forest Ranch that was closed for a week and then ended up a week later still being closed. That one on Paseo del Sur. And the PB location in Garnett had a drive-through open only sign just like this one here in Kearny Mesa. And again, they're closed inside. Starbucks on Genesee and Claremont Mesa Boulevard was completely shut down. Now, we're seeing it happen outside of San Diego, too. A lot of the theories that we're hearing from customers is that like a lot of businesses impacted by COVID-19 and the pandemic, as well as people getting sick with COVID-19, not just restrictions, that they're unable to staff a full workforce, and therefore they're either operating at half capacity with drive-through only, or they're completely shutting down. Now, I want to show you this statement that was sent to us from Starbucks, and I'll read to you in part, quote, what it says. When a store is experiencing a temporary staff shortage, we respond by reducing hours to be mindful that our partners aren't overworked, prioritizing their health and well-being in our decision making. These decisions are made store by store and market by market basis. Now, there are still a number of Starbucks that are open, and again, with so much technology at our fingertips, just a reminder, maybe check to see on either the Starbucks app or Google. And look, if the local Starbucks near you is closed, maybe this is a really good time to help support that local business that could potentially be still open as well, too. And so maybe throw a little bit of cash their way for that cup of Morning Joe. Eric and Netta.
Yeah, fill up that tip jar, right?
Yeah, so
That's
many
right.
good spots.
Yeah, right? Get to those local shops. A good opportunity to do so. Good morning to you. It's 6:09 as we kick off your Tuesday morning. Still dark outside. We got about 20 minutes before we start to see that twilight coming through, meaning a little bit of light. The thing is, we're going to struggle a bit to see that light coming through at all because we have overcast skies to start off the morning. Even a few spots of showers on the screen. Very, very light drizzle at that, but still something to note, especially over the mountaintops. Want to talk about your forecast for the afternoon. Because of the overcast conditions, temperatures are going to fall by a few degrees compared to yesterday. So we've got low 60s pretty much across the board. A little bit of the sun peeking through for your mountains and your deserts, but still some AM showers in the mix for the deserts as well. Right now, temperatures are pretty mild out there, mainly 40s. 47 for Ramona as we speak, 44 at Palomar Mountain, 52 for Poway, and 56 for downtown. Keep in mind, yesterday morning, we saw those pockets of low 30s in your inland valleys. Now we're in the upper 40s and low 50s. So significantly warmer because of those clouds that held on to the heat from yesterday. But by the time we get to the afternoon, those clouds are not going to be our friend in terms of warming up. We are instead going to stay cooler for your afternoon highs. But the weather pattern changes significantly going into tomorrow and the rest of your week. Winds are going to start to pick up. Winds shift offshore as opposed to onshore that we're seeing right now. And that's going to direct those Santa Anas our way. Ridge of high pressure will be centered overhead. It'll lead to a wind advisory for good parts of Southern California, but you can And keep in mind, for us here in San Diego County, we do not have any watches, warnings, or advisories related to this wind. It looks like for us, we are going to see lighter winds, less impactful winds compared to a good portion of the state. So that's the tan color on your screen, whereas San Diego has nothing in store. But hey, those Santa Anas are still going to be pretty gusty across the board. Let's talk about what's going on in traffic. Just those 2 crashes that we mentioned earlier. Number 2 lane blocked at the La Jolla Village Drive exit on the southbound 5. Same situation farther south. You got the right-hand shoulder blocked on the southbound 5 at exit 22. That is Claremont Drive.